What's up, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we have a Dodge Ram that we're working on, and essentially he wants a bar to come out this grill area, which I've already taken off. This is it here. It's a couple 8mm bolts that go on top, slide in to the little sections that holds it on, and then a bunch of pins at the bottom to keep it in place. So you can see here he's already off. And essentially this isn't going to be a structural bar. I had asked him if he wanted something that if he, ran into something that it would hold up. He said no, he just wanted it to be something that holds his lights, which are essentially going to be these lights here. He wants 6 of them. So I'm going to go ahead and make that bar for him, and then likely mount up somewhere here, cut something out on the CNC plasma table to come out, and have like 1.5 inch contour here just to sit the tube in. And then we also want the tube to contour with the bumper, so that looks to be about 10 degrees, and I'll show you here. This is a cool little tool by JD Square, and it fits the radius of my bender perfectly. And this is about 10 degrees here, so as you can see it's just a slight bend, so we're going to give it a little slight bend in the center, and then the lights will be mounted as follows. So we cut out a 4-foot 1.5 inch DOM tube here, as you can see. And we're going to go ahead and bend this up right at the center just to give it that 10-degree bend, and we give it that contour, and we'll move on to that right now. Alright, so we have our tube set in place exactly where we want it. So I usually use a mark right there behind the follower, right here on the die. And what's important about these tube benders, whether you have manual or you have a setup like mine, which is a swag off-road setup with the air hydraulic, you have to take the slack out so that the tube is nice and tight in before you start bending. So before you go and set this up, you want to make sure that that slack is taken out and that tube does not move in there freely. And then you can set your zero, which mine's is due for a replacement. As you can barely see it, but it is there. You can see it there. So we'll go ahead and start bending this tube now. So here we want to go to about 13 with this sidewall, which is 120, because it's got some spring back. So you see I went past 10 degrees there and went to about 13, and that'll give us exactly 10 once we release the pressure. Look at that. So we relieved all the pressure off of the tube, and we're sitting pretty much at 10 degrees there. So always take that into account, especially with DOM and other tubing. Has different spring backs, so you want to be careful, and especially depending on the sidewall as well, it's going to change. So just become familiar with the stuff that you're working with before you go and bend it and waste tube, because metal isn't cheap, and we want to get the most we can out of it. So let's pull this out and see how it works. So here's the final result. You see the bend? This is my center line. The bend landed literally right on my center line, which is beautiful. I ended up going 1.5 inches off, because you have to do that in order to get the bend where you want it at based on the measurements on the bender. So we're sitting nice and flat, and our bend is dead center. So this tube was not wasted. I was hoping that I get it right on the first time, and I sure did. By no means am I I don't bend a lot of tube. When I do, I make sure to I try my best to do it right, and I've definitely wasted a bunch of tube doing projects. So it's nice to see that I'm starting to really get this dialed in there. So you can see where this is where the bend mark ended, and this is where it began. So I ended up doing another 5 degrees here. Initially it was 10, like I said earlier, but we went 15 because it just wasn't fitting the contour of the bumper how I liked. So now we have this 15-degree bend, and I think it looks a lot better up against the bumper. I'll go ahead and try to show you guys here with one hand. This is about center here. So this thing's gonna poke out a little bit, but that'll get cut off on the ends and situated, but it fits the contour of this bumper much better now. Alright guys, so I went ahead and designed these base plates. These are going to mount up onto the truck, basically where the crash bar mounts up to. I'll show you where that is right here. So these two bolts Damn, it's pretty dark. I don't know if you guys can see it. It adjusted enough. Let's see. So here there's a bolt and here's a bolt. So basically I made it so that it's going to mount there on both sides. And I gave it a little slot, that way you can adjust it in case you want it to bar a little higher or a little lower. Then you can do that. And this plate here will essentially be welded on to this plate. And as you can see on this side, this is cut out so that the tube can be received, and we can mount the tube straight onto that, and that's going to be pretty rigid. So we'll go ahead and weld these up, find the position they need to be in, and then I'll be back. Alright guys, so we have these all welded up in position where we need them, and I also went ahead and cut out these tabs for the lights. He wants 6 of them, so I kind of spaced them out about 7 inches apart, and this is one of the lights we'll be using. They're essentially all the same, they just have different functions. One's a flood and then one's a direct beam, so on and so forth. So this is kind of what we ended up with here. It looks pretty good, so we're gonna go ahead and tack these on, fit them up, and then we'll bolt this onto the where the crash bar goes. So we'll bolt these on and then fit up this this tube to it, tack it on, and see if we like it, and we'll go from there.
We're now going to take cut of the graphic.
Alright guys, so we just got these mocked up. I have some bolts that were hanging around that I can mock them up with. We're gonna go get new hardware for them. As you can see, they stick out just enough so that we can place this bar here, and they slide right into those slots, and it gives us the exact position we want. That's about dead center, so we're gonna go ahead and tack this up, make sure it's level. I'm gonna start putting lights on it. All right guys, I got this thing all welded up and bolted in. I like welding these things, or any bash bar or any roll cage, as much as I can while it's mounted on the car. As you can see, I was able to weld it on both sides completely without taking it off the car. That way there's no warpage. Now the last thing I have to do is put these little end caps on, so those will sit there. That way no water or anything gets in here and it can't corrode from the inside out. Planning on powder coating this, so I'd like for it to be nice and sealed up. So we're gonna go ahead and weld these on, and that should be about it for this thing. This is essentially the finished product here. All the lights are mounted. He's gonna wire them up, so I'm not worried about that now, but this is the final product. I think it kind of looks cool, and there's still room for adjustment, but I like this little bend that I did here. It kind of contours with the bumper, and I just like that the lights are kind of in this position. That way each beam kind of focuses in a different direction, and of course if he wants to change it, he can always swing these left or right. There's plenty of room for that, and plenty of room for the plug to plug in down here too. So that's a wrap, you guys. Thank you guys for sticking around again. I'm hopefully going to put out another video on the issues I was having with the Everlast welder, in case anybody has similar issues. I've also got another video of me making the bash bar, the rear bash bar for the Toyota pickup, so hopefully I can edit that after I edit this, and I can put that out for you guys too. So thanks for sticking around again. Subscribe, share the video, turn on your notifications, and I appreciate all the new followers I've gotten recently. That's really cool, you guys. This thing's kind of taking form, so it's all for you guys, and I'm starting to enjoy doing it. So I got some mics coming and some other stuff to just create better content for you guys, so we'll see how that goes. So until next time.